Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to changing your Geraldes trigger. I've done the hard work for all you lot out there, guys. I came in the studio at silly o'clock this morning. This was on my mind. I don't know why. I just must have seen the Geraldes on the wall and thought, you know what, I'm going to pick the Geraldes up and do a video on it. And I'm glad I did, because I've solved a lot of issues that I've been seeing on sort of forums. There's nicknames for this trigger top. One of them's called Rhino Horn. They're calling it Marmite. You love it or you hate it. Now, me personally, when I brought this brush, I did my homework on it. Because we all jump on YouTube, we watch reviews, we watch all the new product releases, and we see these artists, ones like this, picking this brush up, and they're painting with it, and they give you all the great feedback, and it's an amazing brush. But they're not telling you one thing that you should know is, the first thing should be where do you sit on your trigger? That should be the first thing when they do a review on this, and then that will tell you whether it's any good for you or not. Because if you sit to the H&S trigger on the Geraldes on the top, how this brush was designed for, you'll have no dramas with it. Absolutely no dramas. Brilliant, brilliant brush. If you sit sort of top back, no dramas. If you're an airbrusher that sits over the front of the trigger, because people do, people watch other artists and everyone goes, you should be sitting on your trigger this way. You should be sitting over the top, like these pro artists that do all these photorealism. They sit over the front and you can get better response and better details sitting with your finger right over it like this. Well, that works for them, and that's what you got to think about. You find your own way around your brush, and you find your comfortable spot where you want to sit. Don't have to copy everybody else, because they're getting amazing artwork down and you're thinking, well, if he sits with his finger over the trigger like that, it must be right, because look at the work he's producing. That's him. Leave him or her to do what they want to do. You find your sweet spot on your trigger. So people do sit over the front. Now, if you pick this brush up, it's going to be no good for you if you sit over the front. Don't even entertain buying it, because you won't get on with it. If you sit to the top on how it was designed, or slightly to the back, you will absolutely love it. And these are the reasons why you'll absolutely love it is, for one, it was designed with a shorter body, so it brings you closer to your work, which works brilliant, because I sit on the H&S trigger sort of top back, so I just get on with it. And you do see the difference when you're coming in close. So really like that design on it. You get the sketch caps. Now, this is the only brush that they released the sketch caps out on, and they work really well on this. They clip on where your prong cap is. So you just take your prong cap off and you can put your different size sketch caps. So if you're a model painter, they're actually like a distance cap as well. So you can go right up and you can set your distance when you're working on the little tiny miniatures, getting the highlights and the little shadows and shading and things like that. They work great. You've still got your sort of longish back piece like the original Infinity. So this sort of length here hasn't really changed. So if you're used to sitting up high like this, the brush sits really nice on that part of your hand when you work with it, when you work high up on the trigger like that. And it is amazing for detail if you can adapt and work like this. But a lot of people can't, because they sit over the front. So for all the ones that are selling these, drop your comments, because I guarantee it, you're the ones that sit over the front. So you get it out of the box after watching all these YouTube videos, you pick it up and you go, oh, well, how am I supposed to, the cup's in the way. The first thing they spot is the cup in the way, because they want to sit over the front. So then they take the cup off, which you can do, and they go, right, then they go to sit over the front, and then wallop. The nickname Rhino Horn instantly springs to mind, because you get spiked with the lip here, and it digs in to the bottom part of your finger and can be quite painful if you're sitting over the front. So they instantly either sell it, or the next thing they do, which I've seen a lot of people put comments up, is They get the rotary tool Dremel out and they grind off this piece, the lip. They grind that off and they sit over the front, they lose the cup, put the micro cup on, good to go. You'll find it absolutely perfect, works brilliant. So you can do that, but you are sort of like ruining the trigger, what it was designed for and how you're supposed to sit on it. So I came in this morning, coffee, pulled all the H&S brushes out and thought, right, let's go through the triggers and just see which one fits the Geraldes. I'll do a video for you guys, and I found one and it works absolutely perfect. So if you do sit over the front and you don't want to grind off your Geraldes trigger, so if you eventually did want to sell it, you don't want to put in a manky ground up trigger when you sell it, you can keep the original one. You can put this trigger on, make your life so much, and it is a lot more comfortable with this other trigger on. So you're going to see me picking this brush up a lot more now because I can just adapt the trigger across. If you do sit over the front, you'll still have to lose the cup because that will be in the way. So I'd say get the micro cup anyway. If you are using this for detail work, the micro cups I think are better because you get more line of sight, and with this brush coming up closer to your work, putting the micro cup on, you get more visibility. So it brings the brush alive even more by losing this cup and dropping the micro one on, because you can see all through here. Instead of looking at the cup there, that's gone and you can see your artwork. It's just a lot nicer when you're right up close. So we'll move over to the table, I'll stick the camera over the top and we will change the trigger up and I'll show you which one fits. See you in a minute. Right guys, you've got your Geraldes. Now I bet you're all thinking, oh, I wonder what trigger top he's got for this. It is a H&S trigger, don't worry, it's a H&S one going in. So take the back off your brush. This is for people that don't know how to strip H&S, they're so easy. Undo your chuck at the back, slide your needle out, and then pull back and then lift your trigger out. So a little close-up of the trigger. That is the Geraldes trigger. Now you can see the lip on the top. That little lip there, that's been everyone's bugbear. Like I say, you either grind that off and then ruin it, I'd say, or you change it up, and that's what we're going to do today. Now, the brush that I changed it up with is the 2024 Evo. Now, as I say, these spares on these brushes will be available. They're guaranteed they'll be available in the shop. So you'll be able to buy the back body, all the bits, because that's what H&S do. They make all the bits available to you so you can change things up. And that's the good thing about these brushes. Very versatile, changing needle and nozzles, the prong caps, crown, everything. You just change them all up. So back off the Evo, like that. Same thing, you've got the same chuck piece at the back of that Geraldes as you have here, and this is what I mean by the bodies are shorter. When you look there, you see the difference in the body. It's a lot shorter on the Geraldes from the front bit there where your triggers would sit, comes up a lot shorter. So take the back off, needle out, I'll move that to that side. Same again, just pull back, lift your trigger out. To put it into your brush, pull back, get your 2024 Evo trigger and drop it in. Job done guys, and that is your very comfortable trigger top swapped up, and I think this works amazing. The actual flatness and dish of the Evo trigger sits very nice on the Geraldes, it really does. I'll just drop the needle back in like that, nip that up, drop the back on, and that works absolutely perfect. You've got full pull back on it. There's no catching or anything like that. It's silky smooth, it really is. And I think this will make your life a lot easier with your Geraldes, is changing it to the Evo 2024 trigger. It's just a lot more comfortable guys. really is. And with the slight slope on this, for me, it's really comfortable as well. I mean, I can get on with the Growlers trigger, but picking this brush up with this one in, it just makes it even better. It really does. So a nice simple fix. These will be available, I guarantee it, that these 2024 Evo triggers, they will launch them, but you're just basically getting them on the new brushes now. So I'd advise keep your Growlers Infinitec, because you've got a lot of the 2024 sort of features, like the rear chuck is the same. Keep hold of it, because you've got a brilliant brush, you really have, with the sketch caps. If it's the only thing that you don't like is the trigger, hang on to your Growlers for a little bit longer, put it to one side, and then when you can get the spare Evo trigger, pick one up, drop it in this brush, and you'll absolutely love it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video on changing up the Growlers trigger, and it's basically for all the people that sit over the front. If you've got the Growlers and you sit sort of to the back, or you use it how you're supposed to use it, sort of here like this, and work, I think they're brilliant. They work anyway. I can get on with this trigger in here or with this one, but I prefer this one. It's a lot wider, and that's what I like about the new Evo. The triggers on them are really nice, and it just makes this better. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope it's helped you out. Drop your comments if you've had trouble with your Rhino horn or Marmite. Drop your comments, we'll have a chat. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe, press that notification, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.